trying to have a sequel.
Oh.
And this next woman in the segment I'm calling My Friends Made Me Do It.
Because I would never tell, I work with women. I would never tell a woman to walk through that in the same frame of mind I was in when I did it.
And when you say that, but what frame of mind was that?
I was very, very hurt. I was very angry. And I remember like when I made like the decision, I was like hysterically crying on the phone with my attorney. And I was not in any position to make that decision. I was extremely emotionally intoxicated. I would never tell somebody to make that decision when they're that emotional. The truth about the matter is that if I had different people in my ear at that time, I would not have made that decision. No.
Wow.
I wouldn't. And that's the truth. I try my very best at this point in my life to be what I didn't have in that moment. When you get lawyers involved, and there was a therapist I was speaking to, both me and him, a marital therapist at the time, that when I told him my decision, he was like, when you get lawyers involved, it gets ugly. He told me that. And, I didn't even realize, I don't think I even realized how ugly it would get. And I know a lot of women, we make that decision and we're so hurt and angry. And then 5-6 months later, you're not that angry anymore.
Are you now in the spirit of potentially even being able to rekindle?
I would say that if we were both going to show up and we were both going to fight for it equally and sacrifice equally, like, things that I needed and, things that, he needed. I wasn't perfect. Come on.
Yeah.
Your girl ain't perfect. So I would say that if we were both willing to fight and we were both willing to do certain things, and yes.
And go, ladies. And
emotionally intoxicated.
Right. So can I just say this?
That's new.
When we started playing this clip, I have my tablet here.
That's new.
So I went ahead and I was like, how old is she again?
Oh yeah, how old is she?
So she's 31.
Oh, she's too old.
And the reason why, thank you. The reason why I looked up her age is because, let's see, if she was 21, I'd be like easily influenced by your girlfriends.
Agreed.
Your single girlfriends that are hitting the club.
Agreed.
Right? 31 years old, girl, at 31 years old, your girlfriends are not out here saying, oh my God, girl, you need to just totally get a divorce. From Tyrese, listen, I know that a lot of us make fun of Tyrese, but you mentioned a franchise that's literally one of the biggest film franchises of life. Fast and the Furious is literally the biggest film franchise in the world.
Fast and the Furious is like its own lifestyle. It's its own brand. It's its own everything.
Listen, girl, if you used your emotions to quickly to be like, oh, well, I'm leaving this man that literally was in a movie that made $300 billion. And you were so easily swayed to get a divorce. Stupid.
And all of a sudden, she remembered. I cut that part out because she was zooming in on me. But all of a sudden, when he asked her about reconciling, she was like, well, he is the father of my daughter. You didn't remember he was the father of your daughter when
she forgot. During the whole emotional roller coaster, she forgot that he's the father of her picnic?
Right.
And of their child?
Right.
Sorry?
And we know that a divorce is a process.
Yeah, it's a process.
So even after 2 weeks of saying, you know what, I want a divorce, girl, you had weeks and months to go and be like, you know what, this is silly. What we need to do is sit down.
Get marriage counseling.
Apparently, and we'll
get into that.
Talk to many of our spiritual guiding friends to guide us in the right way to keep this marriage alive.
Yeah, I love how she failed to talk about the steps that certain other people took.
Which friends was she talking to? I'd like to know how many 21-year-old single friends she has.
Okay, well.
To Lala Anthony.
Oh.
Not Lala.
I remember this post of Lala saying that she doesn't want to get married again because she says that her friends tell her, oh, marriage is hard and, you know, you've already been through it, so why should you go through that drama again? And she's listening to these women. So maybe it's like a new thing now where women are listening to toxic women.
You know what it is?
I don't
and
know.
Ladies, I'm telling you right now,
Something's
I
afoot.
hate to do this because I hate it to say this about other women.
Mm-hmm.
But when women see your potential and see what you can get, sometimes they start telling
Jealous.
you, oh, you should never do this. You should
They're
never
jealous.
get married. You should never go after that
Thank
guy.
you.
You should never pursue.
Thank
because
you.
they don't want you to get nothing
Thank
Good.
good.
Nothing.
you.
Crabs in a bucket.